The negative has tried to argue that intersectionality is the best criterion for funding government policies, but their arguments simply don't hold up. First, I want to address the new argument in their rebuttal. We believe that rebuttals are meant for summarizing arguments that were made in the constructives, not introducing new arguments. Therefore, new arguments ought to be disregarded by the judge. If this argument were made in the first negative constructive, we easily would have refuted that corruption is not unique to poverty reduction efforts. Monies have also been diverted to people and projects that are ineffective in achieving climate change reduction. Now let's address their use of the microloan example. While microloans can be a useful tool for providing financing to small businesses and individuals, they are a poor alternative to funding large-scale projects or initiatives. Governments typically use a combination of tax revenues, grants, and borrowing to finance their projects. Microloans are not a suitable or scalable solution for government funding. Furthermore, even if microloans could be used by governments, it would not change the fact that poverty reduction needs more funding than combating climate change at this moment. The negative has also tried to discredit Bjorn Lomborg by pointing out that he's not a climate scientist. While this may be true, Lomborg is still a respected economist and his arguments about the cost-effectiveness of combating climate change are well established. Also, we never dismiss climate change experts because their opinions were contrary to prominent economists. The affirmative understands that complex issues require perspective from multiple fields of study. In this debate, the argument that funding climate change policies slows poverty reduction efforts is critical. The argument highlights the trade-offs that policymakers face when deciding how to allocate limited resources. I specifically want the judge to remember the example that the billions of dollars that Germany is going to spend for an imperceptible reduction in global temperatures could save 10 million lives if it were spent combating tuberculosis. In conclusion, the affirmative is winning this debate for several reasons. Firstly, our criterion of relative urgency accurately takes into account the real-world conflicts between poverty reduction and combating climate change. Secondly, our arguments about the limitations of microloans and the cost-effectiveness of climate change policies are well supported. But ultimately, our arguments about the trade-off of lives saved when poverty reduction is prioritized are the clearest in the entire debate. We ask that you vote for the affirmative for these reasons.